We've got a developing story in Canada's airline industry where Flair Airlines is said to be cutting more than 600 flights as part of new cost-saving measures. The Globe and Mail reporting that will impact a number of markets, Toronto, Ottawa, and Edmonton, with cuts lasting until May. Now, remember, we learned through court documents Flair had roughly $67 million in a tax bill with the CRA, which had raised questions about whether the tax agency could seize the airline's assets. Now, earlier this year, we spoke with Flair's CEO, who said nobody's going to seize and sell Flair's assets. But we want to get some more on this developing part of the Flair story from Robert Kokonis, a longtime airline expert who runs AirTrav. Robert, thanks very much for joining us. You know, I was just talking to some folks in our newsroom who have, upcoming flights on Flair. They don't know what this ultimately means for their travel plans. What do we know about what's happening right now?
I think going to the article that got published by the Globe was a case perhaps of data being in the hands of somebody that doesn't really understand what they're looking at. The schedule that Flair, so airlines publish really two schedules a year. They publish a winter schedule and the summer schedule. The winter schedule and through into this April-May period was actually put together last August. And that schedule last August really shows exactly what that reporter was looking at. So the number of flights is down, but Flair just decided there was too much capacity in the domestic marketplace. So shifting some of that aircraft capacity into longer distance routes, for example, a big increase in flights to Mexico. So if you increase your average distance per flight, you can't fly as many flights, but this was already decided late last summer. So really this is old news and perhaps not really fully understanding. So again, total seat capacity as measured by available seat miles, which is the gold standard of airline industry measurement, is actually up 4% for the March to May period. And the average stage length, the average length flown, is up by 14%. So that's why there's a few less flights to some of the destinations you mentioned.
Okay, I just want to stay back on this for a second because people, look, we're running a headline right now. People are running a lot of headlines based on this Globe report, and they're trying to figure out if they're going to have flights in the next couple of weeks here. So you're saying you think this is misguided reporting, erroneous?
Yeah, I believe so. Look at it. I mean, we understand there's, just like in the U.S., there's been a lot of incidents around United Airlines. It seems now in X nowadays, every 2 hours there's a report of some United Airlines technical problem, whereas the airline business, that's kind of an average day, right? There's stuff goes on all the time with airplanes, and they come back to the base and get fixed. So, but in the case of Canada, we saw WestJet absorb their ultra-low-cost carrier unit Swoop last fall. We had Lynx go out of business several weeks ago. So I think there's a hyper focus in the Canadian industry on the health of the players. And to your point, there was the CRA hit to Flair for a tax importation taxes on aircraft they needed to pay. They say they've got a repayment schedule with CRA. Something came out a couple of, I think last week on holdback with their credit card processor. But I believe that's in hand. So I just think there's this hyper focus because we've lost historically. Canada's lost a lot of airlines, as have other markets. We lost Zoom, we lost Jetsco, we lost Canada 3000, Roots Air, Royal. The list goes on, and we didn't really lose many players until more recently when we had this this Lynx failure. So I think people are looking at that and wanting to make sure that their bookings are safe and secure. But look at right now, I know factually, knowing a couple of the airport CEOs across Canada, that the demand post-demise of Lynx is significant. For example, intra-Alberta and BC, demand is way up and Flair is rushing to fill that. Flair has added capacity on one of, I think, Lynx's highest profile route was Calgary-Toronto. Flair is adding capacity there as well to meet the market demand. So I think the demand's there. It's just they're doing what airlines do all the time. It's an expensive business, John. You know it and I know it. High fixed costs. Volatile inputs like fuel, low margin business. So with these expensive assets, airlines are always adjusting schedules to put the capacity where the demand is. And if there wasn't enough demand on some domestic markets, for example, Charlottetown was scheduled throughout the winter, but the demand didn't materialize. So that was reduced. There was a little bit of reduction at the Kitchener-Waterloo, but Kitchener is being built up this summer. So it's just the regular process of airlines, to and fro, adjusting capacity to meet where the demand is in the marketplace. I've got no lack of confidence whatsoever in where Flair is today. They're working through other issues, as we've talked about. But as far as the schedule analysis by the Globe, I think it really didn't focus on the important piece, which is total seat capacity is actually growing by 4%, but the total number of flights is being reduced somewhat just because of longer average flight length. That's the only part of the story that matters.
And so for anyone who's hearing everything you're saying, which is really helpful context, but they might still be confused on what this all means, what would be the suggestion for anyone traveling with Flair right now?
Well, check with the airline. If you're scheduled on a flight, again, as I understand it, airlines do tweak in between their two big schedule when they issue their schedules, winter and summer. They will do some tweaking, and I think Flair has probably tweaked a little bit more. But essentially, the majority of what I'm looking at through schedule data for this March to May period that was referenced in the Globe and Mail. That period, there's really not much change since when the original schedule went out last August. So again, somebody's not looking at the data correctly, but just double check with the carrier, go to the Flair website, and if you're booked to wherever the destination is from your origin airport in the middle of April, just go into the schedule and see is that flight still scheduled? Call the airline, whatever it might be. But I don't think there's any issue at this point. But at the end of the day, because of what happened to Swoop, because of what happened to and I think in the Swoop's case, WestJet has promised to roll out discount carrier type fares across their entire fleet, and not just the 16 aircraft that WestJet was flying with Swoop. So we're waiting for that to happen. But I think with Lynx's demise, this country does, and I've said this to you before, and I'll say it again, the country does need a vibrant discount carrier sector. We were the only major airline market in the world that didn't have an ultra-low-cost carrier market or competency. And there are a lot of challenges. I spoke about after Lynx failed as to why it's tough to run a discount carrier in this country. But make no mistake about it, we need a vibrant discount carrier in this country. And let's hope it all works out. And hopefully Ottawa still is paying attention, because I think there are some structural issues that need to be addressed to make sure we can keep that kind of vibrant discount space alive.